How are you doing? So, to those who haven't known me yet, to those who are seeing me first time today, my name is Janeth, a mom of two boys, a nurse by profession, and an online business owner and a coach as well. So, for today, it's Saturday here afternoon in Texas, USA, approximately 1 p.m. And I'm just so excited. This is going to be another exciting weekend for us as we have another business owner and a coach, one of our best coaches actually in the business. And she's from Canada. And this is going to be her second time to have live interview here on our group. And just so always excited, to have her on board, listen to her advice and, get a lot of inspiration from her. But anyway, before any further ado, I'll bring her in. We have Coach Tanya.
Hello, goal achievers. Hi, Janeth. Thank you so much for having me. Happy
All right.
Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Coach Tanya. So we're I'm always excited. No, we are always excited, to have you on board here. And I know you're so busy and you always have time for us, sharing your story and we're more than excited to have you. So anyway, let me see. Okay, let me just double check if we are live. Yeah, we are live. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Okay, just a quick introduction about yourself, Coach Janya, before we dive into our first question. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sounds wonderful. Thank you so much again for the invitation. I love coming on here because one thing that I do know about having a business like this is to not keep it to ourselves. We're here to share spread the word, share the joy and this wonderful gift that we have. And that's what it is. It's actually, it's gold. We have gold in our hands here. So again, thank you so much. So my name is Tanya. Yes, I'm a coach and a mentor in our online business. I've been a business owner for over 7 years. So I'm kind of almost one of the veterans. I know this whole platform started about 8 years ago or so. And I now live here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. I'm formerly from Ontario, Canada. And we moved here with our family over 4 years ago because we wanted a better lifestyle for them. So I've got an older daughter that now lives in Florida. She's 24. She just graduated university last year. And so she's starting a new life out there. We've got our middle daughter that is turning 21 in just a couple short months. And our son is turning 16 this year in just a couple short months as well. And I'm married to my husband, Derek, and we've been together for 25 years married and over 32 years together. So that's just a little bit about me.
Oh, wow. You said your eldest is in Florida? You
Yes,
mentioned?
yes.
Oh, wow.
She just
Oh,
moved there last month. So it's very,
okay.
very new, brand new for her. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The Sunshine State, Florida.
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow, grown up kids already and a teenager. All right. Thank you so much.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
All right. So you said you've been in the business for 8 years? Yes.
Seven, just over
Seven.
7. Yep.
Seven.
And
Mhm. And what inspired you to start your business, aside from taking
well,
care of the family and all?
yeah, no, that great question because I forgot to allude the fact that I was a full-time mom before I found this business. So my uh, further background, I guess, would be in finance. And then when we started our family, we made the decision for me to stay at home, be a full-time mom. So I've been a full-time mom for as long as Kayla, our oldest, was born. And so I've done, things along the way, sold clothing and like kids clothing and craft shows and things like that. But it really took away from the idea of being at home. That's what we really wanted. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, it was a way of how can I provide more for our family without
Mm-hmm.
actually going back into the workforce, because that was another thing. I knew that being away from the professional world or being in that industry, having those skills, I felt that I didn't have what I needed. And to be honest, I loved the idea of being at home. That was our choice. We made a lot of sacrifices, but we wanted to continue on with that. And our kids, though, the older they were growing, the more expenses we were having and having to incur. So as you know, when you have growing kids, it comes with food, it comes with activities, it comes with so much more. And so we knew, and especially because our two girls were in high school already, and post-secondary applications was just around the corner, and that was an eye-opener for us. So that is exactly why we wanted to start this online business. We knew that we needed to find another way to be able to provide for them. And in addition to that, it wasn't just that one only thing. We have a couple of reasons, but also my husband was a commuter. And so when we lived in Ontario, his commute grew from 45 minutes to an hour and a half in the amount of time that he worked for that company. So imagine an hour and a half each way. That's time left without us, that he couldn't spend with us. So evenings were really just high and bye to the kids, having dinner together, and then off to bed they would go because they were a lot younger then. And then, as the years went on, then we felt like we were just like on a rat, in a rat race, on just a hamster wheel, just spinning our wheels, trying to figure out what are we going to do to make our life better, because we weren't seeing our kids, but also we needed the income. So it's kind of twofold. And we wanted to spend more time with them, because we realized even weekends were spent just, doing projects and trying to, get things organized around the house, because that was something I couldn't do on my own throughout the week. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was really hard, that kind of lifestyle you had before,
Yes.
plus your husband away from home, like only on the road, like an hour. Oh my God. And going back an hour again. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's
Actually an hour and a half. So it would be 3 hours on the
three
road
hours.
every
You're
day.
And it's like
Yeah.
you're 24 hours already, like,
Yeah. Like eat, sleep, work. And that was kind of the cycle, right? Yeah. And it was draining on him as well. He was starting to sacrifice, his well-being, and, feeling a bit more anxious. And then even when he would be in the car with us on weekends, feeling he needed to, hurry up and get to the next destination. But many times I had to remind him, hey, it's okay. But he says he was just so used to having to, be in traffic all those days throughout the week, and then all those months and years. It kind of grew on him, and so I just had to remind him, hey, we have got precious cargo in the car. We really need to just take it easy. We're not in a rush, don't worry. And that was the thing, he wanted to rush home to us, right?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for sharing, Coach Tanya. So, okay, so going back, the first few years, the first few months you started your business, can you share a moment, with us when you realized, as a newbie, that your business was really working, and what made that success happen?
Well, this is kind of twofold, because I would say the first thing was that as soon as I got a notification in my email to show that somebody was interested in what I had to offer, that was such a huge thrill. And that to me was success. Okay, I'm well on my way. And that was, with advertising, right? We are attraction marketers. So that would be with an ad, so an advertisement. And so if they wanted to learn more, they would reach out. And so when I heard that, like the first time, I thought this is it. This is amazing. But then I would also say it's twofold, because we have a couple of rock stars that I managed to attract into my business. And actually they encompass, most of our business here together. And, when they found my ad, that was only a few months into my business. Already early on, I found what we consider eagles in our business, in our platform. And so, yeah, that would definitely be, the second part of, what made my success. When did I realize? That was very early on. So in my very early stages of starting and launching my business. So I'm super grateful for that. And, I can never, say enough, about that. And that's really dictated, my future as well.
Yeah, that's true. I'm so happy for you, Coach Tanya. And you mentioned about few months only. Wow,
Yes.
Attraction marketing, and yeah, this is the really one of the thing that I love about the business. You don't have to run out to people and reach out and
No.
we're like purely attraction, lifestyle attraction marketing, as what Coach Tanya have said. And this is just, so amazing, especially for busy parents,
Yes.
like us, a lot of help for us. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And okay, so okay, well, a lot of people, most of the people are like always curious about our financial success on the business, and you know, I'm just speaking on behalf of them. So if you're comfortable, okay, financial success that you have achieved, through your online business so far.
Absolutely. Oh, this is my favorite part, actually, because this shows that the business works. And I would
Yeah.
say the first one was to be able to move across the country. So we, as I mentioned before, we're from Ontario, and so we were able to pay for all the expenses that were necessary. I mean, if you imagine, like we're on one end of
Mhm.
the country, which was on the East Coast, and then we moved all the way to the West Coast. So you can just imagine, how much of you know. That would actually incur for not just time but also money. So being able to afford all those expenses, thanks to our online business was just such a dream come true. Because one of the things that we discovered too, back in Ontario, was that we didn't have the places we wanted to go to with our kids to be able to spend more time with them. So that's why we chose Alberta. We wanted to be in the mountains. We want to, spend more time with them, hiking, snowboarding, and all that kind of stuff. So that is part of it too. I would say, even though that might not be the financial part of it, but it's still quality time that we wanted to spend with our kids. And also, in that move, we were able to pay down our mortgage. So we are now debt free, mortgage free. So that is, such a thrill for us as well. And also pay down our car debt. We had leased our car for a few years, so we were able to pay. We've been able to pay that off, and travel back and forth from here to Ontario every year, as well as any of our retreats that we've been able to do. Through our business. So those are all being paid for through our business as well. So there's just a lot. And then, but someone wants to actually have concrete numbers. My biggest day was 10,000 in one day. And
Wow, only
so
one day.
that was,
Wow.
that was, quite a thrill as well. And they're just going to get better and better, right? So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
those were, those. And then of course I will also add to that financially, that we were able to provide for our daughter's 4 years of university education. And now our middle daughter has just completed college. Literally on Thursday she had her last exam, and we
Mhm.
were able to also contribute to that as well. So it's not all about just the dollars and cents, but it's what did that money actually provide, right?
That's true. That's true. So, you know, that those are really priceless. In you mentioned about for um, your kid, for the university expenses and everything. Um, that's really very awesome. Because most of the college students right now, they just go to college on their own,
Yeah.
and do their college loan and everything. But a parent, providing financial education for their children, it's just one
Yeah.
of a kind, Coach Tanya. And I'm just
Thank
so
you.
so proud of you as a parent. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
for you. you know the thing that you have help your children, because of this business. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you
And I
so
will
much.
add to that as well. It was a pact that Derek and I made, my husband Derek and I made when
Mhm,
we got married. And, we
mhm.
went through that ourselves, Janeth. And,
Yeah.
we had to take out loans, and we had to,
Mhm.
sacrifice, time and, all that. And then
Mm,
even getting into our relationship together, we came in with debt. And that's exactly what we didn't want for our kids. So that was another factor as to why we really wanted to do that for them.
oh, that's so inspiring, Coach Tanya. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing. All right, so we're gonna go to the real talk now, because business is it's not always success. It's not always happiness. There's always ups and downs, like regular businesses. As we like online business owner, we have also some challenges along the way. So, what were some of the hardest challenges you have encountered? But the very most important thing is, how did you get through them?
Wow. Okay, I've got a couple of them. So I would say the first one was balancing my time. because
Mm-hmm.
I'm so used to being at home, right? I'm already used to having my own space. And, when the kids were at school, I, was doing all the things that I needed to get done. But then when the business came upon, then I was like, okay, then I noticed that, my
Mm-hmm.
time was actually starting to creep into time with our family as well. So it was really just a matter of how do I balance my business life with my family, with my kids. And what I
Mm-hmm.
realized and I discovered, and it wasn't just me, but it was other coaches as well that I was chatting with, is that, you don't segregate the two. They
Mm-hmm.
actually blend with each other. So, in other words, I was struggling trying to make sure that I had only, undivided attention, with my family at that certain, points of
Mm-hmm.
time, and then just doing my, my business on the other side. But what I discovered was a lot of what we were doing was lifestyle, showing what kind of a lifestyle we have together. And that's exactly what people wanted. They wanted to see the time spent together. So what we ended up doing, Janeth, was
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of bribery, but a little bit of, I guess, coercion, if you will. Like on the lighter side, it wasn't obviously anything bad, but it would be like, okay, when we go to the mountains, okay, guys, I need a family picture of us having this fun time together.
Uh-huh.
So then it would be a matter of integrating, my business with our family time. So that's how we overcame that. And it would be like, on the way, on the drive, my daughter would take the front because she has car sickness. So I'd be in the back with my son. He'd have his headphones on, doing his own thing, playing his own games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that gave me my time to work on the business while everybody else was being looked after. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was amazing and still is amazing. I still do the same thing. But also when we got to the destination, okay, let's get a picture. And then, of course, in the mountains, there's no Wi-Fi. In the mountains that we go to, anyways, around our place, about an
Mm-hmm.
hour and a half drive. So it was perfect because then I could spend that quality time with our kids, knowing that I don't have the Wi-Fi hookup
Mm-hmm.
anyways. And then when I did have Wi-Fi, I could, make my post and, just share with my followers, what it is that we're up to and how this, you can integrate your life with your business. So you don't have to feel that stress about how am I going to balance things. Just integrate it and just know that this is the new lifestyle that you're going to have, with your family and with your business, and it works. I'm not the only one that does it this way, and so that was an eye opener. But also, I would say, as far as challenges, as I mentioned before, in advertising, sometimes you'll find that your advertisement might only last a certain amount of time depending on the platform that you're on. And so I would say a challenge would be that maybe that started to drift off, and so I would have to go back and recreate something, and then and if it wasn't just for that, maybe even find a new platform to
Mm-hmm.
advertise on. So those challenges, they came, but then you just know that you can also pivot. You can also change the direction of whatever you're, which way you're going. So you don't have to feel that you can't overcome those things. So I would say probably those were the two biggest challenges, and they're not bad challenges. It's just you
Yeah.
have to know where and how to divert from that.
Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of options. You mentioned about pivot, and yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of options in our business and on our training, and a lot of resources actually. One
Mhm.
time I said one to our guests that our business, we have a lot of resources. It's like going to a buffet restaurant.
Yes, I
You
love
go
that.
and pick pick
Yes,
whatever that would suit you. Okay, it's there, unlimited, and
absolutely.
and for me, I cannot find other business like this with us. Like
Mhm.
there's is really so much more that you can use for your business. It's just up to you. Whatever you want to grab. When you go to the unlimited buffet.
I love that. It brings me to the other point that, what, something might work for somebody, but it might not work for you. And that's okay. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean
it's
that
true.
everything has to encompass every single individual. It's just you take the cues
Hmm.
from your advertising and you understand, okay, maybe that's not where my audience is.
Yes.
Maybe they're hiding out somewhere else. And so that's what we mean by pivoting and then finding out another platform. But I love that, Janeth. You're absolutely right. You don't have to stick to one platform or one area,
That's
you've
right.
got a lot to choose from. So yeah, just like a buffet, you go in,
That's
you
right.
test it out. If it works for you, great, have some more. If not, try something else.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Thank you so much for Sonia. So, okay, we'll save our best question for last. So, what would be your advice? I think a lot of advice for, somebody out there, busy moms, busy parents, who wanted to start the business.
Perfect question.
Mhm.
For me, I just wanted to, I was so raring to go. I just wanted everything to happen yesterday. I just was like, okay, I love this concept. I want to, but then what I realized was, hey, wait a second. I didn't sign up for anything get rich quick. This is not what this is. This is a true, legitimate business that takes time to grow. So you have to build your foundation first. So for all your followers, everybody that's watching, building that foundation takes time. And so that comes with learning. And so I want to say that I would, my best advice is to just be patient, give yourself grace, and don't beat yourself up if you can't grasp something right away. Now, me coming into this, I felt that I didn't have a lot of the skills that I thought I was going to need. And so when I first found this, I came upon, the webinar to check this out. I learned that you didn't have to have all the answers before coming aboard. You could, learn as you went and learn as you go. And so for me, maybe I felt it was a little bit slower than somebody that had already been in sort of the work industry and already had that mindset. So I just had to work on my mindset. And I just had to realize, okay, I'm not here to compare myself to anybody else. This is my journey, and I will take the time that I need to. And of course, with my coach also giving some advice and just saying, I reached out and I said, okay, how should I be looking at this? And he said, one
Mhm.
day at a time. Just take one day at a time, and don't feel like you have to, be in a contest against others that have started at the
Mhm.
same time as you. So again, going back to patience and grace,
Mhm.
and also just realize that this is all about testing as well, as we just mentioned. So test different advertising, test different platforms, test your delivery, test
Mhm.
your what it is that you want to share, what is your message, even the length. There's so many variables to that. So I would say just be patient, and just know that it will come in time, but it's all a learning curve, and you will get there. If you have the will, you definitely have the way here. So that's what I wanted to share.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Tanya. Oh, wow. This is really like very inspiring. Another live interview with Coach Tanya. Let me
Thank
see.
you.
We have some viewers, but let us know where you're tuning in from so we will know how global the business is. So, anyway, I think we're done with our live interview. Wow, that was like a very inspiring. I learned a lot again from you, Coach Tanya. So anyway, so to those gonna be watching the replay, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If you have any further questions or if you're ready to go to the next step. After you watch the 90 minutes workshop. Reach out to the person who invited you here, or you can reach out to us, to further assist you, go to the next step. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great Saturday afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Coach Tanya.
Thank you,
Oh
Janeth.
my
Thank you
God.
to everybody that's watching. I'm so thrilled to be here, and I can't wait for the next time. And next time I'll have you, Janeth.
All right, thank you
Thank you
so
again.
much. All right, thank you. Bye,
Bye for
everyone.
now. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.